Eve Howe is a Metro Vancouver air quality planner, plug-in British Columbia. She's been working as an air quality planner for over a decade, both in the US and in Canada. She's currently with Metro Vancouver, which is the regional government for the Metropolitan Vancouver area, representing 21 member municipalities. Metro Vancouver is a member of Plug-in BC, which represents groups and organizations in BC that have been supporting the uptake of electric vehicles. She will be talking about Emotive, an innovative public outreach campaign being delivered province-wide by Plug-in BC.
Thanks. So I used some of his time to take up my 6 minutes by giving a long intro. But anyways, back in 2012, the province of British Columbia co-funded the installation of a number of charging stations, and I think Kara just showed the map of all the public charging network that we have here in British Columbia. So that was a very successful program, and we have hundreds of stations now available for the public. Once those were put in, the next question was, what do we do? You know, we have these in there. They're somewhat being used, but not as much as we'd like. So the next step was really just to broadcast to the public that these exist. So we started going down the road of looking to develop a public outreach campaign. And as we did this, one of the first things we realized was that, first of all, no one cares really that much about the chargers. The general public is not interested in the charging stations. There's a reason why you don't see Apple advertising their iPhone by focusing on the charger. What we did realize is that what captures people's imaginations and interests are the cars. So the next step was to really focus on the cars and understanding what the public and what the market knew about these cars. So we went and did some research, and we had a number of findings during this process. First off, awareness of electric vehicles is low, and we already heard some of that from Zach's presentation. The World Wildlife Foundation in 2012 did a poll of 1,000 Canadians and found that 47% of Canadians were not aware of electric vehicles. They didn't even know they existed, they never seen one, never saw them on TV, print, nothing. So that was our first hurdle, was to get over that just simple awareness, hey, there's such a thing as an electric vehicle. The second research finding that conclusion that we came to was that people buy cars emotionally, and that's no surprise to anyone who works selling cars, is that it's an emotional purchase. People don't necessarily think rationally. And that kind of feeds into the next two findings, and that is that the driving experience matters most, and EV owners primarily love the cars for their performance. And again, Zach kind of touched on this. We pulled out some research from the Pecan Street Research Institute, which polled EV owners and asked them, what do you love most about your electric vehicle? And over 50% answered the power and performance. 30% said the quietness of it, and only 11% said the social and environmental values. So although most of us here in this room may be driven by that, that's not what drives the public. So we had to refocus our campaign based on what people actually cared about. The next conclusion was that the most persuasive messengers are current EV owners. So marketing firms know that third-party endorsements of a product are very important in terms of influencing consumer decisions. This is the reason why websites such as Yelp and Travelocity are so successful and that why businesses take them quite seriously. And this is the same with electric vehicles. You know, hearing from people who are actually owners and have that first-hand experience is critical. So we then went and looked to see what's actually out there available. And what we found was that what is available is not focused on these sort of research. What we found out from our research is that what's available tends to be very analytical and fact or news-based. So we challenged our contractor, who's Edelman PR, the world's largest PR firm, to develop a campaign to market the concept of electric vehicles in BC, which would be compelling to the consumer. So they came up with Emotive, the electric vehicle experience. And so they came up with this campaign and branding, which really emphasized the idea of electric vehicles and the idea of it as a concept in terms of its feeling and its fun. So all the collateral that they developed, all the creative they developed was very much centered around the feeling of driving electric. There was a heavy focus also on sharing real life experiences being in electric vehicles. So the next few slides, I'll quickly run through some of the elements of this campaign, which we launched at the TD Jazz Festival last year. And I'll walk through each of those. So one element of our campaign is involving what we call EV ambassadors. And actually, I think we have at least one ambassador in the crowd and possibly more. And these are people who lend that authentic voice, the Yelp review type information to people. They're people who are regular folks, families who own electric vehicles. They tend to be early adopters, but they nonetheless are involved in the campaign and out there talking to the public about their experience, their real life experience. We have sort of the basic things, a website and a Facebook page. I think we're at about 1,800 likes on our page at this point. The other thing we integrated as part of this, and again, we wanted to associate electric vehicles with the fun feeling of driving them. And as such, we ran contests. We've run 2 so far that kind of link the experience of driving an electric with something that's fun, other sort of fun experiences in your life. Through that, we're also trying to demonstrate that you can actually go on road trips and such with them. So we're trying to link up some of those messages through various means. We created a we created a video which is on our website and on YouTube as well, and that also provides a bit of that first-hand experience and that authentic voice of people, families, 2 families who own electric, and they talk a bit about it. So events, that's a pretty major component of our campaign. We try to get out there in the community. Where possible, we have, at a very minimum, we have vehicles on site. We let people experience them, sit in them, see the dash, see what it's like, see that it's not that unlike a conventional vehicle, which they're used to. And wherever possible, we try to do ride and drives. As we've said, those are critical. Getting bums and seats is very important to convincing people. And one of the more innovative pieces of this campaign, because we're on a very, very limited budget, is that we've created community event kits. And what this is basically a package that we can provide any community partner in BC who wants to have an emotive presence at a local event. It includes things like loaning of certain materials, tents, banners. We provide swag for people to give away, t-shirts. We do training of the staff that will be on site. And what this has allowed to do, these community event kits have really allowed us to be in more places at once with our very limited funds. So where are we going next? We're going to be continuing through this year and have a number of events lined up for 2015, and I anticipate next year as well. We'll be partnering with more communities in BC. We'll be looking to do more ride and drives and possibly focusing on doing them in partnership with companies. We'll be continually recruiting more EV owners as ambassadors, and now that the province has renewed the incentive funding, we'll be integrating some of that messaging into that. I think that's it.